Yeah, and keep getting grants.
Well, you can only be selected once.
oh, yeah.
But you can apply, right.
And the idea is that, they would be only that very early stage for 2 years, hopefully.
Yeah, just keep in mind that, so this goes to our desire to help the advanced manufacturing sector, within the industrial sector, and that's a potential growth sector for the industrial community. And the companies that we're identifying through this initiative, as Will mentioned, they're tiny. They're often one person, at most 2-person operations, where they've been working out of their bathtub or out of their closet, and they're building some circuit board or some kind of new machine that they are just starting to sell and to commercialize. So this is intended to support those small companies, try to get out of the growth stage, maybe hire a person, buy a critical piece of equipment, with the idea being maybe 2 years down the road, they're able to expand their market, expand their revenue, and ideally go from a 1-person to a 5-person to a 10-person size company and more. But we're really trying to focus on those smallest that have good ideas and will be, the sort of maker bots of 10 years from now.
So just to that point, I know sometimes a lot of these pilot programs and incentive programs try to leverage other resources either within the company or around the company to maximize the city's sort of investment in this. Is there any criteria or in the decision process that there's an equity decision based on the companies that are awarded? Because in certain areas of New York City you have a lot of activity, and then there are certain areas of New York City that don't have a lot of activity. So we want to make sure that Queens gets its fair share of just wondering about the selection process and how do we make sure that happens?
Yeah, I think that...
Well, so first I will note that 2 of the companies are from
I saw that.
Sure.
I saw that.
So it's a third.
Yeah.
Of the 5 boroughs. So, I think that when it comes to equity, that's all determined by our outreach, right? And where we promote these things. So coming to the Borough Board is a first step to making sure that we're in front of all 14 community boards and that they can all take it back to their constituencies. And that's within the actual selection criteria. I think we're looking for the companies that stand out of those innovative, seedling companies that really need that investment for growth. So it's not necessarily that we're choosing one area over another. We just need to make sure that we're promoting it widely enough so that everyone is aware of it.
Well, we like the 1/3 thing.
And we would absolutely encourage everyone here to think about it and help be partners to sort of market what we're doing, and so you can spread the word. If you find eligible companies, anyone that's interested, come on back to Lenny. We'd love to exceed that 1/3 for next year.
Can you get us a one-pager like this on future work so that we can get it out there?
Yep, I think
It would be helpful.
absolutely. Once we launch the next cycle and we're ready to promote it,
similar to this.
definitely. Okay. Any other?
Yeah. So back to the Industrial Development Fund. And knowing EDC so well, a lot of the programs they do is around job growth and job creation. And a lot of times incentives are linked to job growth and job creation. How are you tracking not only, someone makes an application or submits a proposal and they say they're going to create an X amount of jobs, but at the end of the day, we learn from history that doesn't necessarily always happen. So what kind of safeguards are in place to make sure if they get millions of dollars from this, that they are actually creating jobs?
Sure, that's a great question. EDC has the benefit of a full-time compliance department. There are, I think, 20 to 30 people in EDC's compliance department. Their sole job is to follow up with these companies on a regular basis. Companies that receive this type of assistance from EDC will have to report back to us on a regular basis and describe what they're doing, share financial information, share employment information, Even open up the site for compliance personnel to come out and check it out. What did you build? Are you operating? Is it working? Or did you not do anything? So it's a combination of like paper-based documentation, getting out to the site, taking pictures, counting how many jobs, and all of that is sort of rigorously tracked, recorded, reported on. So we've got a pretty rigorous compliance function that helps us to keep our eyes on the metrics that these recipients say that they're going to deliver.
And if they don't deliver, what happens?
Yeah, great question. You know, it all depends on the requirements. So the obvious one here is, what are we really trying to do here? We want to see private actors build out industrial space, right? And if they don't build it out, then we'll say, hey, what's going on? Send us some pictures. We're going to come out there, and then there'll be, then there are ramifications. If we're talking about the loans through the Industrial Developer Fund, then there's a default scenario. Obviously, we hope to never have to use that. We hope that all these companies do what they're supposed to do. But if they don't, we can come out there and we can say, hey, you said you're going to build something and you didn't. It's built into the documents. We've got a default scenario where you've got to pay everything back. There may be penalties. If there are other incentives, we may have an opportunity to take back those incentives, plus penalties and interest and stuff like that. So there are always going to be required deliverables, and there'll be some kind of financial ramification if they fail to come through on that.
Any other questions? Okay, we appreciate the information. You'll get the one-page handout to the community boards so that we can do that
Yes.
for the future.
So we have a bunch of hard copies here, and then we can send digital formats out if anyone wants to grab those.
No, but when the future works is ready,
Yep.
you'll make sure that we get that so we can hand it out to folks. The next Borough Board meeting is April 18th. We appreciate everyone attending. Thank you to EDC for being so responsive and being here and informational. If the chairs could stay, I appreciate that.
I just want to add my comments to your comments at the beginning about Alvin. Alvin, I'm going to miss you. I have a very small slice of 4 days, actually not that small, but it's been a real pleasure to work with you for almost 30 years from my time in Denny Mayerson, through the governor's office and through 3 borough presidents, and the highest title we can give you, I hope you understand this, is Mitch. So thank you for being here, and good luck to you and Greta and Miriam, your son-in-law, and your 2 grandsons.
I can't say it anymore. Say it anymore. No, you should. I can't type it. You'll live. Do they vote in?
I know there's spider cat.
Sure it'll be. Councilman.
Get some work done here.
But I'm only going to one of them. Nobody has.